Alright, so more recently, the OCG released the Salamangreat cards that are going to be released in the Fire Duelist pack, which are not only going to be the main, uh, which are not only the cover cards of the set, but are also supposed to be, like, the most important ones, right? Like, so far, the other two characters have been, like, really unimportant. Nobody's, like, the one volcanic guy I forgot the name of in, like, Battling Boxes, which I didn't even know was an anime archetype. But, Salamangreat's supposed to be the big, big, important Fire Duelist, right? It's like the one you think of, like the second you think of like fire anime duel cards. Anyway, all the cards are dog shit, and here's why. The first one is Salamangreat Weasel. It's a level 3 Cyber's tuner, which is, oh yeah, something important to mention is that like this wave of support is specifically themed around like giving the archetype rich synchro support in order to like round out it all. So they have like rituals, fusions, synchro, Xyz links, have everything except like pendulum. So that way they're on like the same page with like Yukaku's like Cybus and fucking Revolver's rockets. So what is this tuner? If you have two or more Salamangreat monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon this card in your hand from your hand. It's a pretty generic effect. Special summon it from the hand with a weird condition. A lot of other Salamangreat cards can special summon themselves though, so it isn't really anything too special, but it isn't anything like too bad. Second effect is, if a Salamangreat Ritual Fusion Synchro Xyz and/or Link monster is special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, target another Salamangreat monster in your graveyard, place this card on the bottom of your deck, and if you do special summon the other targeted monster to your opponent's field, then draw a card. This effect is wild, wacky, and/or dumb. Alright, first of all, why the fuck does Salamangreat need this? Like, this is not an effect that Salamangreat, like, needs by any stretch of the imagination, right? Like, how does this improve the archetype? I saw one guy talking about how the fusion spell is essentially a super poly. Cool. Like, you can only fusion summon out the Salamangreat fusion, which is the Violet Chimera. And Violet Chimera isn't that good. It's only like a battle trick on legs, like it's not that impressive, and it's definitely not worth putting this in graveyard, like summoning something out and then activating the fusion in order to like cheat it out, make it like 0.1% easier. But I feel like the main utility this card has is against Kashtira, like side post siding, going up against Kashtira, because you can summon a monster to your opponent's fields, which means your opponent can't like summon any of their monsters to their field since they control a monster, which means they have to open like buff specifically in order to actually be able to play the game. Alright, so the second card is the other tuner, Salamangreat Tiger. It's a level 5 tuner with two effects. You can discard another Salamangreat card in order to special summon this card from your hand, a la like the Tricky and like Quick Draw Synchron. And once per turn, if this card would be used as synchro material for a fire monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner. Once per turn, you can increase this or decrease this card's level by 1. This card is so incredibly generic. You can like think of generic tuner support for like any archetype, and this is essentially what comes to mind. It can summon itself from hand by discarding a card, like 7 other cards. It can treat itself as a non-tuner for synchro summon for its archetype, like 8 other cards, and it can change its level slightly. Why would you want to change its level? Probably in order to let you, I don't know, summon out the rank 4, I guess, so that actually gives it some kind of use. But it's really like lukewarm at best. It is not that good. Anyway, we've talked about the tuners. I think we should talk about the new synchro. Salamangreat Burst Griffin. And if it's synchro summoned using another copy of itself, you can activate the effect during your next standby phase. Special summon one monster from your graveyard. Oh boy, I really fucking like going through all that effort to synchro summon out 2 of these fuckers just to summon a monster from my graveyard during the next standby phase. Like, oh boy, this is really helping me. I get to activate Gazelle during my opponent's turn. Yay! It also has its other effect where you can target a level 7 or lower fire monster in your graveyard. You cannot summon monsters the rest of the turn except fires, and then special summon the monster. And if you do reduce this card's level by the level of that monster, similar to the way Destrudo changes its level. And this is normally like how you're planning on like synchroing out the other copy of this using like a copy of this, like you target one of the tuners engraved, summon it back, and then like lower this card's level by like 305 and synchro for 8. I want to make a new copy of it. But holy shit, is that just not worth it. The best utility this card has is like reborning like Gazelle in like grind games, and even then you have much better ways to like get Gazelles back into rotation. It's just not the best. Next up, we have the cover card of the Phoenix, Salamangreat Raging Phoenix. And if it is linked summon using another copy of Raging Phoenix, you get to add a Salamangreat card from your deck to your hand. And if a face-up fire monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, while this card is in your graveyard, you can target one of them, special summon this card, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to that monster's attack. And that's it. You know, fucking... Alright, so one, this is the Linkful, so you're gonna have to summon out a Linkful once, and then you're gonna have to summon out a couple more material in order to Link summon again using that one, using that original copy plus this in order to gain, like, a search. You know, this would be much better for, like, anything else. Two, that's a really fucking bad battle trick. You know, like, destroyed by battle or card effect, you can just target one of them, special summon this card. It's not good. It's really fucking bad. It's so mediocre. Alright, next up we have the spell card of the wave, and that is Salamangreat Charge. Quick play spell, and its effect is target 3 of your fire monsters that are banished and or in your graveyard, shuffle 2 of them into the deck, and if you do, special summon the last one, but negate its effects until the end of the turn, also can't attack. That's pretty alright, actually. It's a reborn that also allows you to shuffle back all of your resources in order to like keep the gravy train going and like allow you to just keep going. That's pretty fucking good. Second effect, if you control a fire ritual, synchro Xyz or link monster whose current attack is different from its original attack, just target one card on the field, destroy it. Sure, it's really, really occasional spot removal, but it's like a good kind of spot removal. It can work, you know. I'd say it's probably, it's undeniably for me the best card of the entire wave, you know? Outside of the fucking, which one is it gonna? Weasel, who has really situational use against, like, Kashtira specifically. I think Charge is undoubtedly the best card of the wave. Next up, we have the trap card, Salamangreat Revive. Target a fire monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You know, that effect really just gives me, what is it, flashbacks to the fucking Transcending Trap, where it was just like, oh, target a dinosaur in your graveyard, special summon it, nothing else. You know, like, it's so lazy, it's so bad, it's not a good card. Why the fuck would you waste time printing this? You know, like, oh, it's just bad. But hang on, like the really bad Dino Trap, this one has a second effect. And that is you can banish this card from your graveyard when target a Salamangreat monster you control and one monster with the same name in your graveyard. Shuffle that monster from your graveyard into the deck, and if you do, that other monster gains attack equal to its own original attack. Cool. I can double my monster's attack. You know, getting big damage in. You know, something every Cyberse deck has trouble with. You know, like, it's not like they can just update Jammer into an access code in order to deal like anywhere between like 8,000 to 10,000 points of damage a ton, you know? It's, oh my god, it's bad. The entire wave is just absolutely garbage. Anyway, make sure to dislike the video and bye, lol.